What I intend to learn, I have learned more than that. I was thinking this is a project I have to make for like 7 years coming, but I'm now shortening it to 3 years to retire to Africa. Because I thought farming, like because of the mentality I had when I was a kid, farming is something very tedious and
for poor people,
suffering and for poor people. What I've seen now within these few days I've been here, I bet you I will retire in the next 3 years in Africa here. Most people in a foreign land, I'm not saying that we are living a fake life, no, but we are living a struggled life every day.
Your bill is what?
Almost like 5,000 a month. Just me, family, and the family in Africa as well.
That's 790,000 Kenya shillings.
Of course. So imagine if I'm making half of it in Africa here. I will live here like a king.
But do you think our African governments support farmers? Where is the gap?
They are not supporting farmers. Like if I'm a farmer in Canada, like farmers can actually get a loan in Canada up to like $500,000 in 10 years without zero interest.
For real?
I'm telling you, if you're a good farmer. But the problem is that if you say they are giving money to farmers here, you see all these politicians, they will share it among their relations,
yes,
and go and portray that they have given 10 million to farmers.
So trust the process. One day your life is gonna change. Keep on believing. You will be better than before. So trust the process.
Hey guys, welcome to today's special episode of Inspire Global. Now, I'm not sure if you were able to catch our interview with Wambugu of the Wambugu Apple. And I did mention when I was interviewing the family, I happened to bump into someone here. And when he said he watched one of my videos, I was like, oh my goodness, we are so global. But guys, let me just stop with this. Let me stop. And I found him here at Wambugu Apple. And for me, all I could ask myself is, why is this person here? Where has he come from? And what knowledge is he intending to learn in our country? And guys, I just want to have a very beautiful conversation so that we can understand where he's coming from. So bro, how are you?
I'm very good, and you?
I'm good. How are you feeling?
Very much. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain how I'm feeling.
Yes.
I'm feeling as if I'm in heaven.
No way.
Yeah, seriously.
Thank you so much for making time for this conversation. I know I met you and I was like, I gotta have a conversation with this person. So could you please first introduce yourself to our people?
My name is Ogudu Dande Joseph. I'm a pure African and Pan-African. And secondly, I'm a Nigerian.
Yes.
Not only a Nigerian, I'm an Igbo.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we are well known in the world as an African, as a Nigerian, and as an Igbo man.
Yeah.
Though I came from Canada, I reside in Canada. But this is my home.
This is home now. How do you feel?
It's my first time visiting Kenya. But I have not known why we are Africans, that we are the same.
We are the same.
Yeah, I felt as if I'm in my village. Like, I even like it that the fact that I came to a part of Kenya that is not the capital city. Yeah, the weather is lovely, the people are lovely, and the wonderful people that I've not seen in the world before.
How is the food? We are good, and we are good.
I've been hearing about ugali for several years. Like I have the opportunity of testing ugali.
Yes.
Like I didn't even know it's made with like things that are common in Africa, which is maize. I used to think ugali is one kind unique food that is made with some sophisticated stuff. But I never knew it was made with corn.
Yes.
But I tested it. It was wonderful.
It was good.
It was
So
wonderful.
I think as we call it ugali, to Nigeria, do you call it pap?
We
how
call
do-
it, like, we made something like that are called fufu.
fufu?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, fufu is not the same process that is
Corn.
ugali is made of. So fufu is made in a different process.
Yeah. So ugali and fufu, which one do you like?
Ugali is wonderful, but as a Nigerian, I love fufu.
You are not betraying fufu.
Yeah, I'm not
You are-
betraying fufu, of course. Of course.
We see where your loyalty is.
No, actually, like, fufu is not like my best food. My best food is beans.
Beans?
Yeah, beans, yeah.
Beans,
yeah.
maragwe, like
Yeah,
beans.
exactly, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a kind of different thing, like, but I love fufu, like, as a Nigerian. Every Igbo man actually eat fufu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
All right.
our native food anyway.
Let's get into our conversation of the day. As I said, I bumped into you. You are in my country right now. As you've said, in a very remote place.
Yeah.
Not so many people even know about this place. Like, not many tourists would even come to such places. But I found you are so comfortable. And just maybe to backtrack, you said you reside in Canada.
Yeah.
When was the last time you were in Nigeria?
It's up to like 10 years.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
That was the last time you were in Nigeria.
Yeah, exactly.
So how and why did you leave Nigeria?
Anyway, like, when we are kids, like, my parents are farmers. I grew up in a farm system. Like, nothing they are doing here is let me say, it's extraordinary. Like, I've seen it as ordinary stuff because I grew up with it and they were farmers. I used to have a farm even at the age of 12 years, but I left earlier. And the reason why I left is just the same reason why every other African left. We are actually looking for a better life. Not that there is no better life here, but this our conception then, that there is always a better life outside there. The Africans, the new generation of Africans that are coming up, should see the better life here instead of running away to get it outside the country. So I left, lived in the United States, lived in different places, like even Middle East, like in Qatar, but I'm in Canada. But I thank God, like, that I've visited all those places and I've come to realization that there is no place like home. It is a surprising thing that when I was at the airport coming to Kenya here, I bumped into an American friend. And he was telling me, "Where are you going to?" I said, "I'm going to Kenya." I said, "Do you remember that there is a terrorist attack in sometime that in one, I don't know whether it's mall or something."
Westgate, yeah.
Yeah. Thank God I have a little knowledge about America. So I
Yes.
told him, "Do you know how many terrorist attacks that is happening in each state? The terrorist attack that is happening in the whole African country is not up to the terrorist attack that happens in one state in America." That I asked him, I didn't even know there was a terrorist attack. And I asked him, "When did this happen?" He said,
20.
almost like 20 or
Yes.
15
So
years
many
ago.
years ago.
I said that you are still bringing it up back to today. That I'm going to the mall first. He was the one that made me, he told me the mall. So once I arrived, so I took a taxi to the mall. And it was a wonderful place.
But the fear now, let's talk about the fear they put in us, or especially people in diaspora. You want to come back home, but there's that one incident that happened that they will always refer to. Why do they do that though?
Anyway, it is this perception that the Western world are having about Africans. Like, it do happens to us. Like, even some of them think we came with camel from Africa to North America. They used to ask us, because I do a handwork. Like, I meet a lot of people every day. I meet different kind of people. Like, I don't meet the same people every day. I meet different people every blessed day. But this is the perception they had about Africa. But some of them that has been opportune to visit Africa wants to come back 100 times. Even some of them are actually thinking of selling their house to relocate to Africa to live. But these are the fears and the perception they are creating about African in Western world. But once you are opportune to visit just once, you will never stay 6 months without visiting Africa again. Like, I have not seen any white person that have visited Africa that never came back again. I advise people to go beyond the lies and try to take a step by yourself to visit. Just what you need is just one visit. No matter where it is, it doesn't matter. Like, visit one African country, you will come back again within 6 months.
Yeah.
That's my bet.
Yes. Let's talk about the years you've been away. Since you left Nigeria, how many years have you been outside Nigeria?
It's more than 28 years.
28 years.
Yeah.
In those 28 years, what is it that you've learned out there that we could use back home as Africans? What are we lacking in that we can actually implement?
You know, one thing I've been like, if I am to start a campaign today, I will start in Africa, is technical. I know when I was growing up, we used to have a technical school in Nigeria, and they are breaking all those yoke, like it's going into extinction now. But it will be surprising that most white people did not go to school just like the way we did. You hardly see, like, if you see 10 Africans, 5 of them has gone to university. But if you meet 10 white men, maybe 2 of them has been able to go to university. But what they have is technical. I could remember that my teacher, my professor used to tell me that the science that are applicable in life are just elementary science. Like, somebody asked me some years back, what can you bring back? What I can bring back today, I'm praying to have the amount of money I needed to come and build a technical school that will teach people how to do things without going to university. That's what technical school does. A lot of white people you see over here that are moving around, most of them are just opportune to be born there, where technical school is a part of their lifestyle. That's one thing we need to bring back to Africa. And another thing I think our Igbo brothers did it during the ancient time is apprenticeship. You know, the Igbos conquered, from the history I read, they conquered Nigeria with apprenticeship. Somebody knows how to make a bottle. You go and bring a brother or a family member and teach the person how to make a bottle. When the person serves you, you settle the person and help the person grow in his own business. You know what it creates? It creates a lot of skills, and it helps a lot of things not dying off, not being in extinction when the person dies. Any knowledge you have, you cannot be able to transfer to another person. It's going to go in extinction when you die. So these two things, they are interwoven, and I believe that's what Africa needs. Is it technical? We don't need much to build a bridge. We don't need much to build a car. It's elementary science. These are being taught in technical school, how to be a carpenter, but we're ignoring those things. But I tell Africans, like I tell my brothers that are inspiring to move over Canada, what skill do you have? Honestly, if I tell somebody that even a carpenter or a plumber is any more than a nursing, it's any more than a nurse. A nurse in Canada earns like $40, but a plumber earns like $65. But these are things we ignore in Africa, which are being taught in technical schools. You don't need to go to university to learn it. It's only going to cost you a little.
So technical. It's funny how we always assumed, and I've said this multiple times on the show, no offense to the lawyers and the doctors and all the professionals out there, but it's funny how we grew up thinking that's all we could do. Like, it comes with a certain, if you are a doctor or a lawyer, or that's cool. Even your parents, you go tell your parents, I want to be a plumber. What did you say?
Or a carpenter.
You want to be what?
Or maybe I come to marry somebody and they say, what do you do for a living? I said, I'm a carpenter.
Yes.
You know how the parents is going to be feeling like you are nobody. But these are things like, let me say, like in Western world, especially in North America, almost all the houses, like 70% of houses are built with wood. So it makes carpenter, like no carpenter can look for a job in North America. That's one thing. So I pray that Africans and our leaders should kind of open. My problem is that they travel outside and they see what is happening, but they are not able to implement it here. In short, in Canada, like to be an electrician, to be a certified electrician, you need to be under apprenticeship for like 5-6 years before you can be able to write the exam to be certified. And if you are certified, You can come to just inspect somebody's job, and the person will pay you $1,000 just for 1 hour inspection because he is not certified, and he wants the job to be what? Satisfied. If he finishes the job, he knows the job, maybe better than you, but you know the code. He will call you just to come and inspect the job and put your signature. You can get like $1,000 within an hour. So let me tell you, like I've worked in all spheres of life, and I've come to realize that soiling your hands, if you're ready to dirty your hand, you can make more money than anybody. I'm not saying don't go to school. School is good. Like we gain knowledge that you will never throw away. But the basic thing is what? How do we apply it? Another thing that I would have loved to talk about, but I know it requires government, is to make our curriculum, for science to be taught in our indigenous language in Africa. I realized when I was in school, the problem we are having is not the science. The problem we are having is to assimilate the English, to understand what the question is before. If you understand the question, you've answered 50% of it.
Oh my God.
So,
if someone told me what a mitochondria is in my language,
okay,
I would remember it for life.
Of course. So if science, this is what Chinese did. You see, we better go less in religion and go more in our culture. Sorry, like I'm a religious person right from, but this time around I have a different perception about religion because they are helping in the problem we are having now in Africa. If science could be taught in our indigenous language, by now African will be producing anything, including plane here. The problem is that we fight understanding the English first, which is a foreign language. We are colonized by Britain, but it's not our language. Imagine that, what language did they use here? Let me say,
we have Luo, Kikuyu.
I mean the general language,
Swahili.
Swahili, that every other Eastern African understand. Imagine that science is being taught in Swahili. I'm telling you, some of the students will be a teacher by themselves. The problem is language. If we can come back to our own indigenous language, teach all these technologies with our language, we will understand it. And African, in the next 10 years, will be better than Dubai. That's it for
insane.
That. Of course.
That's insane. Like, honestly, you don't know how many people are just going to relate to that. Like, I even know the guys who are watching all those hard terms in physics and chemistry. Like, if they just taught us in Swahili,
it was a problem to me, and I know it's going to be a problem to many other Africans. Imagine I was taught science in Igbo language, where I would have been today.
Very far.
So very far.
Very far. But touch on religion a bit. You've mentioned the biggest problem we have here also.
The people that taught us the religion are not even practicing it 10% of what we are doing.
That's true.
Like now I see people like leaving their shop, leaving their business, leaving their work in the name of praying. Come on. There are some certain things prayer will do. And there are some certain things you don't need prayer for. So a lot of things you don't need prayer for. Even Bible said it. The Bible they are following. Faith without work
is dead.
It's dead. It's dead on arrival, not even dead. It's dead on arrival. So I wish people can actually understand what religion is. I now listened to one of my brother that was teaching about let me use this word. When you worship an idolatry is. I'm still researching about it anyway. He said an idolatry is when you leave your own indigenous gods and you are going to worship a foreign god. But I'm yet to still research about it to see. But I think it's making point. We have our own indigenous culture. We should believe in it. These are being taught by white people. This is their own religion. Do you understand? Which religion does China worship? I don't know. Like I keep asking myself, are they Christian or what? But they are excelling because they took a simple approach. Do you know, Chinese, let me say most of the Chinese technology I learned from Americans. Chinese allow their people go to America, learn, come back, they will give the person support to start whatever you have learned. But Africans are traveling wide, but when they come back, there is no support from government. These are one of the problems. Chinese give you loan to start a business because they know if the factory you are creating works, you will pay tax, government will benefit from it.
And you
like in Canada, if you want to set up a business, you need a loan. Government will give you loan. You want to go on apprenticeship, which is the best way of learning a skill. Government will even be paying you when you are doing the apprenticeship. Maybe you're supposed to be earning like $40, they are paying you $20 per hour. When you finish and you need money, you can go to government and borrow some money to get equipment to set up your own, because you'll be paying tax and government will start getting their benefit back. If you want to go to school, they will give you money to go to school. When you finish the school, you start paying back to government bit by bit. It's not that you're going to pay the money today. But in Africa, if you want to go to school, you have to sponsor yourself, which is a problem.
And it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Especially for uni, or it's just crazy amounts.
Whichever way it is. Some of our parents are farmers, they don't have much, but they are farmers. So these are primary things that we as an individual have to do, and we as a government have to do, at least to encourage every other person. Every day I keep watching on YouTube, like since I came across, I have different perception anyway before. But since I came across like kids them doing farming, do you know what we call farming? It's like a suffering, like when you are told to be a farmer. When I was in primary school, like if you did anything wrong, your teacher will give you a knife to go and start cutting grass. So they are creating this impression that farming is a way of maltreating people. So people don't have the idea of what it is. And the best part of it is that we African has the most fertile land in the world. The landmass of Asia, which is the only continent that is bigger than the landmass of Africa, Asia has around 44-point-something million land, and Africa has like 30-point-something million land kilometers, square kilometer. But African land is more fertile than Asian land, and look at what Asians is doing with theirs. That brings us to the next step.
Yes,
anyway.
we are coming there, because
No problem.
farming is a big topic
Oh
for us today.
It is.
But how do you survive as an African man in diaspora? Want to touch on some few stereotypes here. Nigerian men, it's like there's always this stereotype. You are Yahoo boy, scam. You know them.
Yeah, of course I know them. Yeah.
You know them.
It's common, like it's
Yes.
common in the world. Like when you say you are a Nigerian, like it's deteriorating every year, and it's getting worse. Even at current stage of life in the world now, is deteriorating every day, and this time around it's even worse. Like whenever you said you are a Nigerian, people think you are a fraudster, you are duping people. Or anyway, I wouldn't blame them, because one of the reasons why people think so is because Nigerian is high in population in terms of Africa. If you meet 5 Africans, 3 of them must be a Nigerian. So, like my professor will always tell you, whenever 2-3 persons gathers, they are talking about another person. That's always a natural tendency. So, but I go beyond that to tell people, deal with people individually to know how they live their life, and before you can be able to generalize. Maybe you have seen 2-3 persons that are Nigerians that are into fraudsters or something.
Because we have fraudsters
And
everywhere.
they believe they are the best. The truth is just that Nigeria is not even like any other country in terms of fraud. I'm sorry to say that. I wouldn't want to generalize things, but if you look at foreign countries like India, even the Israel that Nigerians are portraying their culture, they are more fraudulent than Nigerian. It's just because, anyway, let me say Nigerians is more populated. So wherever, in every 5 Africans, you must see 3 Nigerians. So there's a possibility of talking about one bad Nigerian. That doesn't mean that every other Nigerian
It's bad.
Is bad. Nigeria is a very great country. They are welcoming, they are supportive, and though, let me just say, they are also extravagant as well.
Yes.
They are, especially our brothers, the Igbo ones, we always like to be noticed. Anyway, that's it. But Nigeria is a good place, and it's a good people. They are good people.
Okay.
The truth is just that every other Africans, just like one of our brothers says, have to be praying for Nigeria. For Africans to be better, for Africans to be good, Nigerians has to be good. Nigeria has almost like 30% or 20-something% of every other African countries. Imagine that something happens in Nigeria today and 30 millions of Nigerians move to your country. Your economy will collapse. So that's the reason, one primary reason why every other African, if Nigeria gets it right, the whole Africans will get it right.
But let me touch on something else. Well, in London, I was interviewing a creative director. I think his interview will be up soon. And we were speaking about how aggressive Nigerians can also be. You people blossom everywhere. You go in places and make it a success for yourselves. Like, you actually make it in a lot of places you go, even outside your country. Where does the aggressiveness come from?
The aggressiveness is simply the fact that people does not have hope on government. Like in Kenya here, I can see there are still hope. People are still hoping on government. In Nigeria, nobody hopes on government. Everybody, like, especially, I'm talking at the perspective of being an Igbo person. Every Igbo man believes in himself, does not believe he's being ruled or being controlled by anybody, that he's going to make it. So whenever you get into and see yourself, even when the person is dying, you have to endure, because you have no place to fall back to. Do you understand? That's the mentality of every Nigerian. That they do things as if it is the last and the last chance they have. So they have to persevere. They have to endure. We are already smart by being African. Like, the truth is just that you need to just test an African just for 1 week. He will learn whatever you are doing. But being a Nigerian, we don't have any hope in our government. So everybody depends on whatever opportunity you see is the last one that you will get. So you have to pursue it with your last blood. So that's actually what makes Nigerian explores any opportunities that comes across them.
Yeah.
And another thing, there is no such thing called luck. I don't know, I don't believe in it.
In luck.
No, there is no. Just like my professor will always say, he says, opportunity pass by every day, but we are not prepared. Anybody that is prepared, we grab the opportunity. That is what people call luck. There is nothing like luck. Nobody is luck. It's just that we are not prepared to grab the opportunities that is passing by. If you are prepared,
you're good to go.
Of course, you are good to go.
Yeah.
They passes by every day.
Yes.
Either you did not have eyes to see it because you have not prepared for it, or you have eyes to see it and you're also not prepared for it.
Yeah, this is success.
That's it.
It's when opportunity meets preparation.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's not the other way around. It's not opportunity that meets preparation. It is preparation that meets opportunity. Yeah.
Wow.
So
now you're in Kenya.
Oh my God.
First time.
A lovely place to be.
Let's go there. How you loving it?
Oh my God, I'm enjoying it.
You're in Kenya and in a farm.
I'm in Kenya and in a farm.
Not in Kilimani.
Oh my God. And this is the best that have happened to me, that I'm in Kenya and I'm in farm. I wouldn't have learned what I have learned now. I wouldn't have, honestly, I wouldn't have seen what I have seen now if I'm in Nairobi. So the best place to have been is to go to a rural area if you are in a city or in a country. That's where you will know the nature of the country.
So you're in Canada?
Yes.
And you see something on your screen?
Of course.
And you decide to make a trip to Kenya.
Course.
Could you walk me through that part?
Because I've been looking for a way.
Yes.
I've looked at our life. We are, let me say, like most people in a foreign land, I'm not saying that we are living a fake life, no. But we are living a struggled life every day. Honestly, like, I don't know of another person. My bill is almost like $5,000 every month.
Your bill?
Yeah.
Bill for what? Rent?
Both rent, taking care of the house, and other things. This is only for me. I'm not talking of my wife bill.
Come, let's do the maths. Here we do the maths. Your bill is what?
Almost like 5,000 a month.
Just you?
Just me.
And family?
And family, that's it.
And now when you take care of the...
Just me, family, and the family in Africa as well. So
that's 5,000.
that's 5,000.
So you pay rent?
You pay mortgage.
Yes.
Let me say.
Or you pay mortgage?
You pay mortgage.
Yeah.
You pay your insurance.
So that's 790,000 Kenya shillings.
Of course. So imagine if I'm making half of it in Africa here. Who I would be. Like it got me thinking, like I was looking for a way of maybe it's okay that we have lived there and we have experience. Why not come back and see something we can do here? Live a more natural life. You live with, like now I'm here, the temperature is like almost 20 something degrees.
Yeah.
If I'm in Canada, it will be like -10.
Hey.
You understand? That means you might not walk outside for like 10 minutes. Like when I used to walk in winter, if I walk every 5 minutes, I have to go and heat my hands with the hand gloves. But here, I'm here sweating. So
Yes.
I can go to the farm and sit down. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And have the experience nature. If I make 40% of what I'm making in Canada, I will live here like a king.
True.
Maybe people, the only problem our black brothers are having is this. If they move back to Africa, they have a bill over there and they will have a bill here. If they can lay their hands on something that will give them like 40% of what they make or 50% of what they make in Western world, they can live like a king here and still take care of their bills. Because some of the bills will not be applicable again. Like if I'm not living in Canada, I don't have a reason of owning a car in Canada. I have 2 cars. The insurance is almost like $500. I have to pay every month. Like I'm not even using them. Like I use my van that I use for work every day. I'm not like maybe in a 1 year I will give like 500 kilometers or 1,000 kilometers to the 2 cars. From Monday to Saturday I work. Only Sunday I have to rest. Maybe just going to buy groceries. I need to use the car. I'm not an outgoing person. I'm not a club person. So anyways, it's on me. So why paying $500 for nothing? If I'm here, maybe I'll pay insurance of maybe, even if I have 2 cars, I'll be paying like $100. Let me say a month. So I've saved $400.
Yeah.
So, and I will go to my farm. If I'm a farmer, I'll go to my farm and take some food. Like if I go to grocery, I will go to grocery, my wife will go to grocery. Each time you go, maybe in a week, I will go once, she will go once. Each time you go, you spend $600, $500. Yeah, that's it.
That's a lot.
Yeah, of course. The kids, they have to eat.
Yeah.
They don't have to maybe to suffer because of your mistakes or because of your laziness.
So is life abroad happy? Like you said you
Life
work from Monday
life
to...
abroad is surviving. It's not happy. I just have to be honest with you. It's surviving. And coming from where we are coming from, you have to survive for your children to survive. So that's all.
So it's survival after survival,
It's survival
after
after survival. But I wish our brothers will look beyond maybe their comfort zone. I have seen what these people are doing here, Kate, Wambugu Apples are doing here. One thing that actually encouraged me of coming here is because I have seen that it's not only her, that her siblings are also following the same trend. That means they have invited to their parents' culture, which comes to another thing. Our people like trying to teach our children our culture. You understand? It's very, very important. Yeah. But honestly, life abroad is surviving. If you can live half of that life in Africa, you will be a king. You'll be living like kings.
And the experience.
And you'll be in a good natural state.
Yeah.
And you'll be eating natural and organic stuff.
And experience peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Which is important.
which is important. I will not be walking around here. I'll be thinking of a ticket or anything. No.
So now you are here in this farm. What do you intend to learn?
Yeah, I intend. What I
Or
intend
what
to learn.
have you learned?
What I intend to learn, I have learned more than that. I was thinking this is a project I have to make for like 7 years coming, but I'm now shortening it to 3 years to retire to Africa. Because I thought farming, like because of the mentality I had when I was a kid, farming is something very tedious and
For poor people.
suffering and for poor people. But what I've seen now within these few days I've been here, I bet you I will retire in the next 3 years in Africa here. And honestly, the way people think farm or farming is, they should just stop that. Break that yoke, come and see by yourself. Because being in a different reference frame, thinking of another thing, let me just break it down.
Yes.
When we are small, we'll be in a car that is moving. We think the grass is moving. Like in physics, they call it relativity.
Yes.
You understand? It's not moving. It's just because you are moving. So we are in a different reference frame, thinking things are not okay in Africa. Because maybe we are in a moving train. So come out of that train. Come back to Africa and see by yourself. Just give yourself 2 days or 3 days. You will realize that it is better to be a conch farmer here than being a director in a bank in the Western world. Farming is easier. We have gotten knowledge of way of doing things. Only what you need is just come back here, get a land, just apply the little knowledge you have gotten, both in marketing and in smart farming, in the way of doing things faster. You will be okay.
Are you not scared of the culture shock? Like you've spent so much time outside, you might come here and you don't know how to do some things. Or some people will just still look at you as that guy from Canada.
I don't know about another person, but I'm not trained like that. My mother was very hard when I was growing up. Like I come back from school, in primary school, then we used to use, slate. Yes. I don't know whether you know what is called slate. Slate is just like a wood that is, you grind a charcoal and paint on it, use chalk to write. So
Yes.
we were not using book when we were in primary school. So you write on that slate. When you go back, you grind another charcoal, paint it for tomorrow. And when I come back to school, I will do that, and my mother will still send me to farm. Even when I'm going to farm, people will be crying for me because others are playing soccer. So why I'm going to farm? So my mom does not train me in a soft way. So I became hard. And then I used to be angry with her. But now I'm very happy that she trained me the way she did. Like, I know if we even say, okay, go into a competition of farming, and manual farming, I will beat a lot of them here. So I know.
You mean that one?
No, I don't mean that one.
That one there.
No. I don't mean that one. But a lot of them, I will beat them. But this is the way. For me, this is the way I grew up. So like my grandfather always said that work does not kill. What kills people is laziness. Farming is not what we think. You can be a farmer without even using your hand to do things by yourself.
But how do you feel now Canadian citizens or American citizens would reply to you like, so you came to our country to learn the best you could and now you're going to use it in your country?
It's a natural thing. That's how they learn too. Come on. The knowledge started from Africa, not America. They came, learned from Egypt, learned from some other African country, took it back. We have the nature here. We have the science here. The only thing we need is just the technology. It's just that people are not reading histories. Most histories come from Africa. Even Americans themselves, they were colonized by Britain. They learn from somewhere. Everybody learns, go back and develop theirs. They even go to the extent of coming to bring our brothers to develop their country.
Yeah.
So I don't think they will feel anything. Even who am I? If I leave America, nobody will even know that I've left North America. So the country is still, because they are not building it upon anybody. They are building it upon the masses, but not upon anybody. That's one thing we are not doing here. We wait for problem to come before we think of solution. They look at problem. They begin to analyze problem in the 100 years coming. They begin to think of the solution now. And we wait for the problem to come before we begin
Then
to
we
think
come
of
up,
solution.
and then it's everybody coming up
That's
with a
it.
solution, and
That's it.
it's too confusing.
Solution doesn't come when there is problem.
Should come before.
It should come before. You should at least try to make a step to solve it.
Yeah. But do you think our African governments support farmers? Where is the gap?
They are not supporting farmers. Let me tell you, I just want to be, the problem we have is just like we see white, we say this black. We try to paint things because we want people to love what we say. No, they are not supporting farmers. Like if I'm a farmer in Canada, like farmers can actually get a loan in Canada up to like $500,000 in 10 years in zero interest.
For real?
I'm telling you. If you're a good farmer, but the problem is that if you say they are giving money to farmers here, you see all these politicians, they will share it among their relations and go and portray that they have given 10 million to farmers.
Yes.
If they really want to support farmers, I'm telling you, in 10 years' time, people from other parts of the world will be coming to Africa just to become a farmer. We don't really appreciate what we have, call this land. We have it. But if this government support farmers, I tell people, like, you see what Nigerian government is doing is we have a vast land. We have the land, we have the resources, we have the labor. So what is the problem? The problem is just the support.
Yeah.
If they support farmers, in 10 years' time, people will come from the Western world to become a farmer in Africa.
Yeah. And too many restrictions, you know,
Too many
unnecessary.
That's it.
Unnecessary.
One of my Italian friends used to tell me that if they bring all the Italians to Nigeria and bring all the Nigerians to Italy, that in 10 years' time, we will destroy what they have built and we will pay for visa to come back to, to Nigeria. You know, it was so shameful that I didn't know how to feel then.
Africans.
God.
And then they get visas and come back
that's
to
it.
Africa.
You look at, I sorry to say that I yearn on one of the immigration officers when I was coming in, interrogating a Nigerian just for nothing. Because they said you should try to print, to make it easier to print the visa. Because this guy did not print the visa, he opened his phone, which is what I did, which is what other, if a white guy that is in front of me did, he opened the visa in his phone and gave to him.
Yes.
And because the Nigerians did like that in another counter, and it was, I don't know what he felt.
Yeah.
Being rough on him. So,
do you think Africans were our worst enemies?
This is what we have been developed to be. Not that this is who we are. It's not who we are. It's what we've been developed to be. So I hope that we Africans have to embrace, you see, a little love to one another. Go a long way to create an impression. That's what we needed.
Yeah.
Imagine that there is a day you can move from one African country to another without a visa. What the Westerners are thinking is the money for vacation, not the money for visa. But if you see in Africa, if somebody get a visa, you go to the church for, what do they call it here now? Testimony. A visa. It's crazy. Yeah.
Lastly, if there's anything you would want people to know about Africa, what would that be?
The simple thing that I would want everybody to know about Africa is that Africa is the best place to be on Earth, in this planet Earth, in terms of anything. In terms of the natural resources, in terms of the fertile land, in terms of the culture, in terms of the weather. There is no other place that have a favorable weather all through the year in this world except Africa.
Yeah.
The temperature between every African country to another is just between, let's say, 15 degrees to 30 degrees. Imagine when you experience minus 32 degrees. Our freezer is just like minus 8 or something, or minus 2.
Yeah.
But you experience minus 32 degrees. So there is no place like Africa. What we need is just to find a way to make it enabling environment for every other person to come by. That's all.
Yeah.
And remove all these criminals that call themselves politicians. I call them criminals because that's what they are. I urge every Africans in diaspora to come back here. I know there's no way all of us is going to come back, but if majority of us that have gained some knowledge come back to Africa,
Yes.
we give ourselves target. I'm telling you, in the next few years, Africa will be a center of attraction in the world. I urge people to come back. I'm not saying come to Wambugu Apple.
Yes.
But I'm saying go to any other place. Take what you have learned. Just come and invest in a little thing. Just little by little. Give it 10 years, you see the Africa turning around.
Yeah. Do you love the apples?
Oh my God, I love the apples.
Yeah.
And you see, the main thing is that it tastes different from the apple you eat.
Yes.
It's sweet, it's juicy, and it's even bigger than the apple you eat. This one you're seeing is just the smallest one. If you see the
Bigger
big ones,
yeah,
you will love it. You will love it.
Is it an investment worth making for you?
It's an investment worth more than making.
Yeah.
You know, like I've sat down, do some calculation. Though that is still theoretical.
Yes.
I would put it into practice, but I believe it's an investment worth making.
And we need to embrace all of this.
Truth is just that you never go bad on farming. I was born by a farmer.
Yes.
So all through my early stage is farming.
Yeah.
Imagine at the age of 12 years, I was able to own a farm. So I used to have a rice farm. Then, so you know what it is.
Yes.
So I'm not afraid of coming to try it again.
To try it again.
Even if it doesn't work, I will try another thing. But I know it's going to work.
So do you intend on farming in Kenya or Nigeria?
I don't have a specific place to farm.
Yes.
As far as it's Africa,
That's what should count.
that's what counts. Like myself, Nigeria now, security is a big problem in Nigeria. It's one of the things that I'm thinking of, but I don't have a particular place. Any place I get a fertile land in Africa, as far as it's African, I will start the farming there and progress to another country.
Yes. African for Africa.
African for African.
All right.
Also.
That's all. Huh?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You don't need luck. I won't say wishing
I
you
don't- I know, I
wishing
don't
you
need-
luck.
I don't need luck.
I think you are.
I don't need luck. Wish me strength
you
and
are well.
life.
I think
That's all.
be well prepared.
Of course.
All right.
Of course.
Be
That's
well
what it's a part
prepared.
of the things I'm doing here.
Yes.
It's part of the preparation.
So you don't miss out
No, I
on
don't miss out at
an
all.
amazing
Thank you so much.
opportunity.
Thank you for what you are doing.
Eh.
You don't know how extent it's going in the world.
Thank you.
I never knew I would meet you. I will come across you. You see?
Yeah.
I've just told you the two people that have watched their videos that inspired me, and it happens to be you.
Yeah.
So maybe you think maybe this is just to sensitize all our brothers around here. My dear, you are doing greater than that. You don't know who is watching your video. You don't know who your video is inspiring. But I tell you, it's a high time we have to support something like that to educate a lot of Africans that have different mentalities like me before.
Yes.
So thank you so much. Not thank me, I'm thanking you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you
And
for
thanks to your crew.
my people.
I'm thanking your crew.
Yes.
At least every day they are on the road
Yes.
from one point to another,
On the
bringing
move.
something we didn't know about Africa to us. So
Yes.
they deserve an applause.
Yeah. I hope I also didn't think I would honestly bump into someone
I see.
who has watched our work from
see.
many miles away.
see.
But as you've said, for me, my take home is it's time now. Africa, it's time.
It's time.
It's
The
time.
time has passed, but it's never late.
Now it's because we are conscious about
course,
it
of
right
course,
now.
of course.
There are so many conscious people
course,
about
course.
who know what's going on.
Of course.
So I think the time is now.
Of course.
Yes. Huh? Before we go, how do you send money to your people back home?
Oh, I use this thing called Pasapia.
Yes.
I use the other one called, is it Lemmy or what?
So let me tell you which one I would want you to try out.
Okay.
Could
Let
you?
me grab my phone. Yeah, because it's always good to.
The way my guests come
Yeah.
through. There's one. It's really amazing. It's called Tap Tap.
Tap tap.
Yes, Tap Tap. Send.
Tap.
Tap Tap. You tap tap.
Okay, sorry. Can you
Yes.
spell that?
T-A. T-A.
Okay, T-A.
P.
Okay.
another TAP.
Oh, the same space?
Yes, tap.
Space?
Yeah, no,
The
same.
same, okay.
Tap, send.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get that later.
All right, so I will do that.
So if you get it,
I will download the app as soon as we are done now.
Yes, please.
So,
And you'll get 10% cash back. Use my promo code Lynn, LYNN.
the only thing is just that if the exchange rate is not good, I will let you know.
Which I appreciate that level of honesty.
I will let you know, because one thing every other Africans look at is the exchange rate.
Which is important.
Exactly, which is important.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know they have beautiful rates.
Okay.
I know the rates vary in between.
Yeah, I know.
But I know
of
they
course.
have beautiful rates. They are very fast and they are very reliable.
Of course.
So go try it out for me.
Sure, I
It will
will.
mean a lot.
Sure, I will.
A lot.
I will do that.
All right.
I will do that.
Okay, bro.
Thank you so much.
Now we can go.
Okay.
So trust the process. One day your life is gonna change. Keep on believing.